All right, my friends, it's T-Man, and we're gonna do a educational video this morning. Yes, it's gonna be on eccentric, concentric. Yes, man. So this is an example. I pulled this up from AI. You know, our good friend Google AI overview, whatever. It's pretty accurate. So I'm gonna use this for the educational video. So we're going to talk about eccentric, concentric, and we're going to use this as a model. So it says here at the top, while running uphill like up a stairwell can lead to a loss of sarcomere in series, right? So running downhill like down a stairwell can lead to an increase in sarcomere in series, and a phenomenon observed in animal models and in humans as well. It's been observed in humans. It's been observed in animal models and humans. Okay, so we know the fundamental contractile proteins is sarcomeres in muscle. That's the mass. That makes up the mass. That makes up everything in muscle. Okay, the real muscle. I'm not talking about sarcoplasmic, which makes up mass too. It can make up mass, but it's fake mass. Anyways, the fundamental mass of muscles that make you super strong and jacked and a bunch of stuff. Okay, so. Let's go to the explanation here. Sarcomeres and muscle contraction. Sarcomeres are the basic function units of muscle fibers, yeah, and they are responsible for muscle contraction. That's right. Sarcomeres in series. Okay, so sarcomere in series. Sarcomere arranged end to end are referred to as sarcomere in series, and they contribute to the overall length of the muscle fiber. They do. Yeah, okay. Uphill running, concentric exercise. So, concentric exercise running up a hill. Which exercise do you think is superior for muscle growth? Running up a hill, coming into a gym, trying to lift concentrically, shortening, which is associated with a loss of sarcomeres. So you're going to the gym to, let me get this straight. So people go to the gym, they lift concentrically so that they can lose muscle. So they can constantly keep this muscle short by shortening it? Is that the idea? I don't understand that. See what I'm trying to explain to you? I thought the idea was to come in the gym and build more sarcomeres, especially in parallel, the series and parallel. So concentric exercise associated with a loss of sarcomeres. Okay. That's just crazy. So let me get this straight. If you had a choice of $1 million, and I told you that you could make $1 million in 5 years doing this job, but this job, working minimum wage, it would take you 100 years. Which one would you take? The 5 years of the 100-year job to make $1 million, to save up $1 million? See what I'm trying to explain to you? It's crazy. So let me get this straight. So you want to do concentric lifting in the gym, right? Going against gravity, which is associated with a loss of muscle, but you're trying to build muscle. And let me get this straight. You're going to spend 30 years there trying to eke out some growth in the concentric. Now, I'm not saying that concentric cannot build some muscles in parallel. It can, because when you lower the weight, there's a lowering and there's a squeezing, okay? There's still a lowering there. So, but there's some minute activity going on. Minute. You understand what I'm trying to explain to you? There's still something going on there, okay? But it would take you 30 years to build what you could build within 6 months and a year doing eccentric exercise. You understand what I'm trying to explain to you? It is superior in every way, eccentric. Why is eccentric superior to concentric? Because concentric will take you 100 years, what you could do in 1 year, lifting eccentrically. Now do you understand? Now do people understand? Because why? Because downhill running, eccentric exercise, during downhill running, the muscles are contracting eccentrically, lengthening, which can lead to an increase in sarcomere in series according to the ResearchGate net. You understand me? It damages muscles, so it creates more muscles. It damages, it creates more. See what I'm trying to explain to you? But you're going against gravity, you're shortening. So you're not only, here's the thing, not only is it going to take you 100 years to build anything even in parallel lifting concentrically, because there is still a movement. You're moving up and down. But it's the short phase. It's gonna take you, bro. It's gonna take you like 100 years. Okay, let's just put it that way. You understand what I'm trying to explain to you? That's why science says. That's why they still leave the door open for some growth concentrically. There is, but it will take you. That's why you see these people. They show their pictures. I showed them in my community section. It says 15 years of lifting. Wow, if 15 years of lifting, man, you could have gotten that in a couple of weeks. One guy said to me, "What? You mean they could have got that in a couple of weeks?" Yeah, because listen to the difference. Listen carefully. Listen carefully. Uphill running, concentric exercise. It leads to a loss of sarcomere in series over time. Over time. See what I'm trying to explain to you? Now, running downhill, eccentric exercise is what? Leads to an increase in sarcomere in series according to ResearchGate.net. Now you understand? Animal studies. Studies on rats have shown that decline running produces more sarcomere in vastus intermedius muscle fibers than incline running. But here's another thing that's superior about eccentric exercise. You also get micro tears in the bone, you get micro tears in your muscles, you get micro tears in your ligaments and tendons, so they come back bigger and stronger as well. Okay, dude? Now, but one takes a little bit longer than the other. Ligaments, tendons take a little bit longer than muscle to repair and remodel. That's why you want to go for the full 7 days. That's another reason. Okay. Animal studies. Studies on because ligaments and tendons do not have blood vessels, so blood does not flow to them well. Well, you could try doing these hot baths, like some people do hot baths, but you don't need that. Just let it repair and remodel. Give it a week to repair and remodel, whatever. All right. So animal studies on rats have shown that decline running produces more sarcomeres in vastus intermedius muscle fibers than incline running. Protective mechanism. The addition of sarcomeres in series after eccentric exercise is thought to be a protective mechanism. Yes, that's how muscles are built. Muscles are built to protect you. That's the whole point. It's a protective mechanism, limiting fascicle lengthening and potentially increasing the maximum shortening velocities of muscle fibers. Okay. Force-length relationship. The force generated by a muscle depends on the length of the sarcomeres. Well, yeah. And sarcomeres in series can affect the force-length relationship. It does, yeah, okay. Muscle adaptation. The body can adapt to different types of exercises. That's why bodybuilding is a superior exercise regime, because we don't leave out any of these modalities. We use everything. Body weight, dumbbells, barbells, pull-ups, dips, deadlift, overpress, bench press, squat. We do everything, okay? Cable machines, you name it, bro. Bodybuilding does everything. So the body can adapt to different types of exercise, and changes in sarcomere number in series are one way that muscles adapt to the demands of different activities. That's why in bodybuilding, we never leave anything out. We do a variety of exercise eccentrically. You understand me? We do the powerlifting, we do the calisthenics, we do the cable machine, we do the dumbbells and the barbells. So we hit every kind of exercise so that we get what? Changes in sarcomere number in series are one way the muscles adapt to demands of different what? Activities. But it's not superior. Powerlifting is a sport. It's not superior for building bodies, and neither is just calisthenics. It's not superior to for just building bodies. What's superior for building a body? For bodybuilding? For building a body and bodybuilding? Building your body? Bodybuilding. Get it now? You understand me? So it's based on the principle of eccentric exercise. I'm not talking about drug addicts, fake people injecting steroids, okay? Pretend people. So human studies. Research on effects of eccentric exercise. See, they never talk about concentric because it's garbage. Eccentric exercise on sarcomere number in humans is ongoing, with some studies showing that eccentric training can lead to changes in fascicle length, but not necessarily in increases in sarcomeres in series. Well, I don't know what that means. Necessarily an increase. Well, but not. But there is an increase in sarcomeres. Anyways, they did a study here. If you want to read this, it's called Decline Running Produces More Sarcomeres in Rats. So there you go. So they did the study. So they are obviously, they know that there's an increase in sarcomeres. So whatever. Fascicle changes. How to increase sarcomeres? How do you increase them? Stretching increases the amount of already existing inhomogeneity of sarcomere lengths. Weak, long sarcomeres will be stretched, and stronger sarcomeres will be what? Will be increased. That's how. Chronic stretching and eccentric bias resistance training have been suggested that, promote growth of new serial sarcomeres. See, new serial sarcomeres, The importance of serial sarcomere addition for muscle function and yada, 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 yada. And I think I posted this in my community section. It's called Why Stretch Muscles Hurt. Is there a role for half sarcomeres? And they talk about downhill running there too as well. So there you go. There you have it, broski. Yeah. You understand me now? Why eccentric exercise will always be superior to concentric, because concentric, to get to your destination, will take you 1,000,000 years. So it's like taking a donkey. You want to take a donkey to South America, or do you want to take the airplane? Which one's more superior? You get the idea now, right? Like, I'm not saying that you may not get something lifting concentrically. You definitely will get something. You understand me? But it will be very poor, and it would take you 100 years to get there, which what you could do eccentrically in a couple of months to a year. Okay? So there you go. It just makes no sense. That's like Blaha. Blaha loves skating uphill. Get it? Don't skate uphill, skate downhill. Be smart. Okay, dude? I'll see you in the next one. Tell us you think about that. Like, subscribe, support the channel. I hope that helped, man. That's why it's superior in every way, broski. See you in the next one. Ciao.